I think the hardest part of the process was finding an apartment.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm a Japanese citizen, and it was still a pain in the ass for me to do it.
You hear about on YouTube and Twitter and everything, like it's hard, and then you see some people saying like, yeah, it's people are over exaggerating. It is 100% hard.
Fucking difficult,
especially if you're a foreigner as well. You basically play under different rules.
Yeah,
like it's sad to say. Like I, you know, in the UK, I think if you have money, you get an apartment.
I think more importantly, especially if you're a YouTuber.
Oh my god.
Because the hardest thing, at least in Japan, from my experience, about why it's so hard to get a fucking apartment here, is because freelancing is not a job here.
Yeah.
Freelancing, you might as well be unemployed, according to this government's like...
The government's like that typical Asian parent.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You're not a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer?
It's like, you're unemployed, right? Yeah, you're working part-time.
And that's due to... because they're worried about if you can pay all the rent and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they don't even like, you know, at least in like, I don't know about the UK or Thailand, but at least in Australia, when you sign up for like an apartment, right? Usually the landlord will be like, okay, can I see your bank account?
Yeah.
Like just to see how much money you have saved up, you know, regardless of what job you do. We just want to see that you have, you know, money in the bank. And if you do, then you're like, okay. But here in Japan, they don't check your bank. They check your work status to make sure that there's like a constant flow of money coming in.
And it's not just that as well, because if you're not Japanese, and especially if you can't speak Japanese, most places aren't even going to talk to you or consider you. Because that was a big problem we had. Because we went through like an agency and we just made a list of about 10 to 20 apartments that we were interested in. And we sent it off and applied.
Rejected
from all of them.
Jesus Christ.
And we had a company as a guarantor.
Yeah,
so like having the like payments secured wasn't the issue. It was like a lot of the time it was really dumb stuff. Like, can you sort the bins properly and like stuff like that?
Like,
which
yes,
is, like
we're not 12-year-olds.
It's like the main concern you'll hear all the time is, can you sort your trash properly? And it's like, okay, it might be different from where I'm from, but like
I can learn.
Yeah, it's like the government councils in the area give you an English manual that tells you how to do it. Like it is tedious and it is a lot more complex in most places, but it's not like...
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, like, it's not like you're having to do like the weirdest stuff imaginable to this stuff. Like it's basically just rinse your stuff, separate all of it. That's pretty much it. And I know there's some places in Europe that do it way more thorough that probably don't have this concern when they're letting people rent houses. It's just like...
Because it's the least of your concerns. It's, you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you go through an agency, for example, that specializes in foreigners and people who can't speak Japanese, you're going to be paying so much more.
Yeah, you pay a premium for that ability.
You pay like a premium for that bill and that rent. So it's you either have a fucking difficult time finding a place and getting past all the barriers, or you're just going to pay a shit ton of money. And those aren't two very good options.
Yeah. The only concern that they often cite, like building managers, etc., that I find is like somewhat, all right, that's fair enough, is that they're worried that you'll run away. Yeah. But run away and not pay the rent. But if you have a guarantor, that's the whole fucking point of that problem, which we did.
You can't run away.
Yeah, if we run away, you're still getting your money. Like, and the house is vacant. Great, no damage to it. Like, this is a win-win for the company. I don't understand. Like, you play by their rules in every way.
It's because it's just like typical, like, this is like one aspect of like Japanese, I guess,
definitely
like,
one of the
work
worst,
culture that I learned very quickly. It's that like, it doesn't matter what the business is. If they're not 100 million% sure that this is going to go through, it might as well be 0%.
Risk. Yeah, they don't do risk.
There's no risk in any business venture, whether that be paying for rent or like anything. It's like if they're not 100 million% sure in every possible avenue ever, it's just not happening. And you know, it's ridiculous.